Yo, 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 it's your boy, the 10X Closer, and this is the segment of the Garage Billionaire podcast called Ask E. All right. So, got a question from one of my followers, or I should say viewers. I hate kind of using the word followers, but I got a question from a gentleman that follows me, and basically that question was, how could he utilize business credit to buy real estate, right? And what's a good exit strategy out of that position? All right, so there's many ways, or I should say, a couple of ways of using business credit to fund your real estate deals. And all of that is going to basically vary on your location, where you're from, what part of the country you're at, how's your real estate market, based on what you can do. And on top of that, how much business credit you actually have. So, we're going to keep the scenario simple this time around. So let's just say, for instance, you have 50K in business credit. All right, we're going to use that. And then on top of that, we're going to use the Cleveland market. Let's just say the Cleveland market because that's where I'm at right now, and I live in Miami. It would be definitely a little tough. You would have to have quite a bit of business credit here in Miami to really, get the full benefit of using that business credit to fund an actual real estate deal, because the prices here is so ridiculously high. So let's stick with Cleveland, right? So basically, the benefits of the business credit is that you could potentially get into a deal with zero out-of-pocket cost. So at the end of the day, you're going to hear people talk about doing no money real estate deals. And while that is possible, it is possible to a certain extent. And people have different ways of coming up with that so-called zero money. But to be honest, it's always going to cost something. Even if it doesn't cost a whole bunch, it's going to cost something to actually get into a real estate deal. So don't have the mindset of, no money down real estate. If you don't have the money, part of that strategy is having someone with money or having someone with credit, putting the pieces together. You can find a deal and you can put the pieces together and make the deal happen. That's one variance of no money out of pocket. No money out of your pocket, but the money is coming out of somebody else's pocket, right? All right, so let's not get too far off a topic. Let's talk about the business credit and how that would work. Let's say, for instance, we are in the Cleveland market. Let's use that scenario. Let's say there's a 3-unit building, a triplex, that it would take you, let's say, 100K. That 100K basically will, buy the property and do the rehab. And once that's done, you're going to have a nicely renovated triplex ready to rent, right, for 100K. So you don't have any money, but you have good credit. You're going to need great credit to get a good amount of business credit. So you're going to leverage your personal credit to get the business credit, especially if you're new to business or maybe you've been in business for a while. So the longer your LLC has been around and the more credit you have established on the personal side, the higher amounts you would get for your business credit. But let me not veer off too far. on the details. Let's just keep it simple. So you have $100,000 deal. Or I should say you need $100,000 to make this deal happen. But you have no actual cash, but you have, let's say, $50K in business credit cards, right? So you're going to use that $50K to utilize this zero money out of pocket expense. However, remember, you only have $50K, so you're still going to need money. You're still going to need $100K to do the deal. All right, so either way you cut it, in most cases, you're going to need something like a purchase and rehab loan, right? So where the no money comes in is that, let's say, for instance, I have a connection, I could get you a purchase and rehab loan. However, you're going to have to come up with 20%. Remember, you're dead broke. You don't have any money. So you're like, well, how am I going to come up with 20K cash? I have 50K in credit cards, but I don't have the cash. I'll teach you how to liquidate your credit cards, not on this video, but there is a way to liquidate those credit cards and turn that 50K or the majority of it into cash. Of course, for a fee, small fee, right? So what you're going to have to do basically is you're going to have to liquidate that business credit card so you can get that 50K out of there so you can get it into your bank account so you can actually come up with that 20% of that 100K that you need to get that purchase and rehab loan so you can get the job done. Now you're probably thinking, you just said I had 50K and I only need 20. Why am I liquidating 50? Well, you don't have to liquidate the whole 50, but you're definitely going to need at least that 20%. You're going to need that in your bank account. Now, the trick that most people don't tell you when just kind of breezing over, getting loans in a situation like this, let's say a hard money loan for a project, they don't tell you that, the property would get, the purchase side would basically be, let's say 100%, but let's say you find a lender that's going to give you 100% of the purchase price, but they're not going to give you 100% of the rehab. So, or scratch that. Let's just keep it simple. Let's say basically you have to bring 20% to the table. Now, what's going to happen is the lender is going to give you the money to purchase the property and also rehab the property. However, you don't get the rehab money up front. You actually get that money in draws. So going back to the 50K, you're going to need some money to actually get some of the job done. And that's also going to depend on your contractor. So, there's been situations where the contractor actually do the work, front the work, and then they get paid off the draw. Or, let's say in a case that they don't, you're going to have to come up with that money out of pocket to basically help get the work started. That's how draws work. Basically, when you're getting that money from the lender, you have to complete the work, get the work inspected, and then the lender release the amount of money that's going to cover those expenses, and then contractor gets paid, materials get purchased, or I should say not purchased because the work is already done. So basically, contractor get paid and you get reimbursed for the work that's been done, right? Those are draws. So that's why I say you're going to need a little bit more than that 20%. That 20% is going to cover your portion basically skin in the game. You're skin in the game. So once you liquidate those cards, you're gonna, get that 20 that goes to the lender. However, you're gonna need some money to cover those the initial rehab on the property. Okay, so that's where some of the rest of that money is going to come from. So if you have business credit, so you still have a credit card with 30K on there, and you can use that 30K basically to fund the rehab part and then get reimbursed. Let's say, for instance, demo. You didn't have money for demo. You use, let's say, 2,000 out of the 30. You paid for the demo, and then the demo is done. Then that's inspected. Then boom, the lender, and these are just examples. The lender pay you for the demolition work that you paid technically. Well, not technically. You paid out of with your credit cards. For that work. So boom, you get reimbursed for that. Now you could put that back into the credit card, and boom, you're back at partially where you started. So that's the draw process. So like I said, they don't tell you the whole game. So they just tell you, yeah, you could get a loan, purchase a rehab loan to get the work done. But unless that contractor is covering the work and they're going to wait for those draws from the lender, then you need to find a way to come up with that money. That's where the business credit comes in handy, right? So those are some of the benefits of the business credit. Now, let's think. All right, so now let's say now you understand this one way of coming out of the pocket, basically zero. So the lender gave you 80% of the money you needed, but you needed that extra 20%, which was 20K. You use your business funding, or I should say business credit cards to pay for that extra 20K. So boom, technically you're no money down because the lender paid 80 and your business credit card paid the other 20. So now you're all in 100. Now work can get done. You're funding the project with your card. Boom. So moving along. Now everything is done. You have a perfect property. Let's just say this is a buy and hold scenario, right? So buy and hold meaning you're going to buy it, renovate it, and then rent it out. And then you're going to start collecting some cash flow. Now, the second part of the question was the exit strategy. Now, of course, there are multiple exit strategies, but I'm going to give you one. Let's say, for instance, you want to hold on to the property. That's what I promote because I believe in building wealth. So we're trying to build wealth, right? So we're not just flipping. Flipping is cool to make some fast cash, hopefully to put back into the game. But once you flip that property, then that's it. There's no more. You have to start back from scratch. But buying and holding, you have the BRRRR process, which is buy, renovate, rent, and repeat, I think, whatever. So basically, that's the process to where you're going to basically buy the property, go through the process, rent it out, repeat the process. Oh, I forgot refinance. Basically, buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and repeat. The B4R process. That's one exit strategy. And the way that's going to work is basically you, like I just said, you bought it. Now it's fully rented. Now what you want to do to exit, because let's say, for instance, those cards, in most cases, what you want to do is get the cards with the 0% interest rates, right? So let's just say you use that 50K, the full 50. All right, that's going to cost you roughly around $500 a month. Um, $500 a month. I don't even want to say that. Let's not say, because you're getting reimbursed for the work anyway, so you won't use the 50. You're going to need the rest to get the work done, but you're going to be reimbursed. So let's just say you use the 20 at the end of the day, 20. So let's say you had that card, that 0% interest. You're only going to pay 1% per month. Let's say the job takes 4 months to get done. All right. So just keep in the back of your mind, you're going to have to pay 1% of that 20K, which is not much. 1% I think is like $20 a month. Yeah. 20. No. Whatever 1% of 20,000. My mind is not working. It's late while I'm doing this video, but it's a relatively small amount. I think like $200. Yeah, whatever. So if anything, we'll scratch that. Like I said, it's late. So basically, you're going to pay 1% of that 20K back to the credit card. So going back to the exit strategy, let's say you're holding on to the property. Now you got it rented out. Now, let's say, for instance, you hold on to the property for the whole 12 months. Let's say that 0% interest lasts 12 months. So now that's going to adjust, let's say, to a 20% interest rate after the 12 months. So now that's going to drastically increase your monthly payments on that money. So basically, to get out of that, what you want to do is refinance that property, once it's up, rehabbed, rented, and you just added value. So the property is, going to be worth significantly more than what you paid for it. So you're going to go ahead and refinance out of that property, where you typically get anywhere from, let's say, 70 to 75% of the after repair value on the property. So now you got more than enough money to pay off that loan, that 80K that you borrowed from your lender, and the 20K off of the credit card. Or you'll just get right enough. So boom, now you just paid off those debts. Now you can get into a regular loan that's going to typically be, let's say, 15 to 30 years, a low interest rate, because these lender rates, hard money rates, are pretty high. So that's one of the reasons you want to refinance out of that, to pretty much get a lower interest rate and get that monkey off of your back. So once you refinance, now you got your tenants in place, and they're going to go ahead and pay off those. They're going to go ahead and pay off, basically pay for that mortgage. And that's one strategy of using business credit, and one exit strategy, getting out of that. So hope that answered your question. Remember to subscribe to the Garage Billionaire podcast on YouTube. If depending on which platform you're watching this on, if it's on Instagram or something like that, then you want to go to YouTube, and actually you want to go to my bio and click the link. That's going to take you to the page where you can basically go ahead and subscribe, and hit the notification button. Basically, when I upload videos, you're going to get an alert or a notification, and like a couple of videos. Then I could, keep on bringing you that content that you want. So you guys have a great day, and I'm closing out. And remember the Ask E.